The Caged Skylark by Gerard Manley Hopkins, 1844 to 1889. As a dare-gale skylark scanted in a dull cage, man's mounting spirit in his bone house, mean house dwells. That bird beyond the remembering his free fells, this in drudgery, day labouring out life's age. Though aloft on turf or perch or poor low stage, both sing sometimes the sweetest spells. Yet both droop deadly, sometimes in their cells, or wring their barriers in bursts of fear or rage. Not that the sweet-fowl, song-fowl, needs no rest. Why, hear him babble, and drop down to his nest. But his own nest, wildness, no prison. Man's spirit will be flesh-bound, when found at best but uncumbered. Meadow down is not distressed for a rainbow footing, it nor he for his bones risen. Okay, so this is by Gerard Manley Hopkins, who came from Oxford. He lived in Oxford. Okay, so this poem's talking about a skylark and comparing a skylark in a cage and a man. And it's saying that the spirit of man is restricted by his body, by being flesh, as a skylark is restricted by being in a cage. Let's see, within our bodies, then there are things that we need to do. There are limits to what we can do. There are limits to our freedom. And then maybe when we die and are resurrected, for those who believe in resurrection, which Manley Hopkins clearly did, then you will have true freedom. So, as a dare-gale skylark scanted in a dull cage. So, a gale is a storm, and dare to be brave. So, as a skylark that dares to be in bad weather, scanted in a dull cage. Scant or scanty is not enough. So a skylark restricted in a small and boring cage, dull, boring. Man's mounting spirit in his bone house, mean house dwells. So here we have this simile saying man's spirit is restricted to his being flesh and bone, his bone house, like a skylark held in a cage. That bird beyond the remembering his free fells. So the bird in the cage doesn't remember well, he being free and in the countryside. A fell is like a hill in the countryside. This in drudgery, day labouring out life's age. Okay, so man's body has to do many things. To work, for example, he has to live out his life within this body. Though aloft on turf or perch or poor low stage, both sing sometimes the sweetest spells. So both the skylark and the human do lovely things. The bird sings beautifully, sings the sweetest spells, and man sometimes can do the most wonderful things or make the most wonderful poetry or music. Whether they're on flying in the sky, or on the ground, on turf, on the grass, or on a perch, or poor low stage, or in a difficult situation. But both of them can sometimes sing beautifully. Yet both droop deadly sometimes in their cells, or wring their barriers in bursts of fear or rage. But both the skylark and the man are frustrated. They feel bad in their cells and fight against the barriers. The bird, the barriers of the cage; the man, the barriers of his body, in fits of either fear or anger. Not that the sweet fowl, song-fowl, needs no rest. So here we've got a double negative. It's saying that a fowl is a bird. The sweet bird, the lark, the songbird, it's not that it doesn't need any rest. So it does need rest. Why? So this is an exclamation. Look, listen, hear him babble, hear him sing, and drop down to his nest, but his own nest, wild nest, no prison. So the wild bird goes into the sky and it sings beautifully, and then it goes back to its nest to rest before maybe it goes out to sing again, to do things of beauty. But a nest in the wild, it doesn't go back to a prison cage. But man is always restricted to his body. Man's spirit will be flesh bound when found at best, but uncumbered. So the spirit of a man will always be limited to this body, and at best it will be uncumbered. It will not have problems or difficulties or obligations. Meadow down is not distressed for a rainbow footing, it nor he for his bones risen. Okay, so the bird is not distressed. The bird is distressed because is not distressed if it's in the meadow. But the man will only find a rainbow footing it. He will only be the bird in the meadow, and with a rainbow in the background, if he has been resurrected. So I think is living with God. So yeah, this poem, it's effectively drawing a parallel between being alive and being trapped in our bodies is something that restricts our spirit, whereas like a wild songbird in a cage, and the only way out of that cage is through death and resurrection in heaven. So enough. If you enjoyed the video, give it a rating, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you soon. Bye for now. The Caged Skylark by Gerard Manley Hopkins.